pull up this first. Okay.
Same way I think many people choose to look past the reality of what our country is, the standards that we now stand on. We can't ignore the reality of the history, but in many ways, I think certain people are prosecuted and maybe not recognized for the greatness, that they offer. I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, misrepresented. I'm not saying that every man.
Sorry, my mic was off. Correction. He was not misrepresented. That is a lie. That's cap. Let's not cap, please.
Man is perfect. I'm not saying that all of us don't have flaws, but I can't, with any sense of humanity, not recognize the valuable contributions that this man made for us as Black entrepreneurs, for us as businessmen, for us as people who transition, culture and ideas into something that's tangible and becomes business. So many people benefited from what he created, and I acknowledge that, and that's why I see him as legacy.
Yeah. You told Shannon Sharp you learned a lot about business during that era.
Absolutely.
What'd you learn?
Puff was a mentor, but he was like you had that really, really hard teacher, but you're watching something in real time. I think that the idea of the level of discipline that came with that time in business, especially in an era that was trying to prove itself culturally in hip.
Look, I'm not going to play this whole clip. Real quick, I'm going to respond to what he just said really quickly. Chad, we're watching. Chad, you can't keep coming in my chat asking me what I'm watching or what I'm talking about. You need to just be in the stream, okay? Goddamn. Cause I walked away with this thought when I watched the Diddy documentary of like, because two things can be true, right? Yeah, he's a piece of shit. And you know what Usher is talking about here, like, we can't dismiss, what this person has contributed to music and blah, 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 blah. And that's okay for you to say, right? Because you cannot erase history, right? However, it's just like, I don't like that. I just don't like the structuring of that, of how that's being said. It's just like, oh, well, I don't have anything negative to say about him. Oh, and it's like, and I'm about to get to it after I finish playing a J. Cole's clip, but it's just like, I don't have a problem with them. I don't think anyone has an issue. See, this is the thing. When people say that like someone like Diddy is a monster, he's an asshole, then people like him will be like, oh, well, we can't dismiss what he contributed to music and what he did for the culture and blah, blah, blah. It's like, who the fuck dismissed that? Literally, who the fuck dismissed anything that he's contributed to rap, to hip hop? What the fuck are y'all talking about? People are talking about his literal character and the way that he treats people in real life. No one has dismissed or discredited anything that he's contributed to music. So I don't understand. That's why that tone or bringing that talking point up annoys the fuck out of me, because we can anyways, I'm gonna play J. Cole's clip and then I'm gonna open up the conversation.
Yes, me and E.
Okay. So, yeah, explain that.
Nah, you know what? I damn near wish I could because it's such an ill story.
Right.
You know what I mean? But matter of fact, we did a podcast, me and E,
Okay.
like a year and a half ago, where we kind of ran through like the first part of my career up until Forest Hills Drive.
Right.
And we had a bonus episode that was the whole episode was just about that night.
Okay.
And that altercation, right?
Right.
And we was gonna put it out because at that time, you know what I mean? Like me and Puff, like we hadn't had no problem for years. Even after that, like it was cleaned up quick and we was in a good spot.
Right.
But Puff was on the song that I had on off season, and like so we was gonna put it out, thinking like, yo, it's cool. Like enough time has passed, he ain't gonna feel no way, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And then all the shit happened with him.
Right.
And I was just like, nah, it felt like damn near like kicking him in when he's down. Like, you know what I mean? It was like it would gave the news in the world more ammo.
I got you saying.
Just destroy this dude.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time to put it out.
Wasn't a good time. So similarly, right now it's like
Yeah.
I want.
Bruh. Like, where do I start? Okay. So I'ma just, and also just to loop Young Miami in this conversation as well, her interview, she kind of echoed the same sentiments. Like, that terrible version of him, I've never experienced, whatever, right? I'm gonna just piggyback what Cole just said, right? Cole just said, "Oh, I didn't want to kick him while he's down. I didn't want to give the world more ammo to destroy him," right? I love that I just seen so many tweets responding to this clip of a still shot of him literally kicking Cassie while he's down. You, J. Cole, are saying you didn't want to say anything bad about Diddy because you didn't want to kick him while he's down, when he quite literally kicked Cassie down and then kept kicking her while she was already down. Like, and that's what we literally seen with our own eyes. So I know that he didn't put two and two together, like probably when that came out of his mouth, maybe he didn't realize that that was very harmful for him to say, and honestly ironic as fuck. But like, what the fuck are you talking about? You didn't want to kick him while he's down. Well, he doesn't have any problem doing that. He doesn't have a problem kicking Cassie in her fucking face, in her fucking stomach, and beating the shit out of her in front of everyone, in front of anyone, in public. Like, what? Like, I just thought that that was very, like, a very poor choice of words. Anybody defending Diddy is a clown. Yeah, and so, like, this theme, because this is a very real thing. This is a very you got to remember, Usher was probably R-word and essayed by Diddy, and Diddy probably has mad dirt on him, so he feels he has to say good things about him in fear of retaliation. It definitely, Usher specifically, his tone certainly came across like, let me watch my words. You know what I'm saying? And that's like a very common thing for people who speak on very powerful people in the industry, such as a Diddy or a Jay-Z and all of these people. That it's like, oh, well, you can never speak bad about them, and like they treat them as if they're God or something. I think it's weird. Over in the TikTok chat, my only thing with Diddy is this: I also want to hold people around him accountable. Yes, I agree with that as well. Justin Bieber probably got out and was traumatized. Yeah. So this is the point that I want to hit home real quick, because this is a real thing, and I understand that you being a person who let's talk about Diddy, right? Let's talk about Diddy. So let's talk about Cole, Usher, or Young Miami. Okay, let's just say out of however long they have known him, right? Is it possible that none of them have experienced Diddy in a negative or harmful or toxic way? Absolutely, right? So them saying, oh, well, I don't have anything bad to say, right? Because the experience that I've ever had with him directly hasn't been bad. I've only ever known him to be this kind of person, which is the opposite of what I've seen him, which is the opposite of how I've seen him act with Cassie and these other people as well, right? That is a valid experience, right? You only know what you know, right? And so when you experience someone in real life, yes, I get that it is hard to wrap your mind around them being an entirely different person, or them having a whole nother side to them that you've never experienced, and you battling with yourself with aligning that negative side of them. I understand how it's hard for you to identify them as that kind of person, which is a person that you've never experienced directly. I understand that. However, even if you are the person who doesn't experience this particular individual's bad behavior, right? Even if you only ever had a positive experience with them, that negative side that of them that could possibly exist, right? Whether they have accusations, or people have said that they have done bad things, or you have seen them do bad things to other people, you still have to hold that version of them accountable. As if you're someone who's their friend or someone that you just, if there's someone that you just care about, yeah, the good side that you see, cool, that's valid, but the other side and how they act to other people is valid as well, and you have to hold them accountable. Because if you don't, at that point you're just complicit, and at that point you are just enabling their bad behavior, and at this point you don't give a fuck about them actually growing or learning from their mistakes or truly understanding the gravity of how their actions have affected other people. And I just think that saying, oh, well, I've never experienced that version of him is a fucking cop-out. And I think it's very dismissive. And I think that it shows that you don't actually care that he really learns from this and no longer treats people shitty moving forward. It's just like you more so are putting how he treats you and what you've experienced with him above how he's treated everybody else. I think that's bullshit. I think just as Young Miami, Usher, and J. Cole are all like, oh, I can't say nothing bad about him, blah, 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 blah. I feel like you also need to say, well, although I didn't experience him be shitty to me, right? I did see him beat Cassie's ass, and that was fucked up. And he needs to learn and grow from that, and he needs to accept his consequences. He needs to do his motherfucking time and needs to learn from that. I don't understand why they can't just say that. I don't understand why they can't just say, hey, he wasn't shitty to me, but he was shitty to a lot of other people, and he should be held accountable for that. He should do his time, and he needs to learn from this and grow from this and never do this again. Why can't they say that as well as, oh, I've never experienced him be bad to me? Why is it that y'all have to paint him as this fucking, oh, he's not that bad? Why do y'all have to do that? Just two things can be true at once. I'm gonna read your comments in the chat. Let me see. Diddy truly thought he was invincible because to allegedly abuse a white woman. Oh Lord. Okay. J. Cole literally fought Diddy, so he has had a negative experience. But it is that's what I'm saying. Like, even Cole, his tone is just like, oh well, I don't want to say anything negative because I don't want to kick him while he's down. What are you talking about? I would have preferred him not to even speak about him at all. What the fuck are you talking about? Young Miami was probably with the shits though. She's still a victim. And see, this is the other part of it, right? Another reason why I call bullshit on what they're saying, especially Young Miami, is because me personally, I believe that people always bring up, some of the tweets that she had and the way that she spoke to Gina, and she was very much so talking like she was with the shits with them freak offs. And cool, but that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do, whatever. But it's like, girl, sometimes people who try to be like, oh, he's not that bad. Oh, I didn't experience that. Oh, he worked on himself by the time he got to me. He wasn't that bad of a human. Sometimes people doing that also is them trying to take the spotlight off of them because they may have also been complicit in some kind of way with their bad behavior. So they want to make it seem like, oh, well, he's all polished up and better now. Like, he's not that bad. That was in the past. Girl, I call bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I call bullshit to a certain degree. I wouldn't be surprised if, Diddy was like never necessarily abusive to Young Miami. But I don't necessarily believe that by the time he got with you, he was just a fucking saint and he was like this. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Same thing with Usher as well. It's like, I feel like you know some things, and I feel like you are protecting him for whatever weird reason, maybe to also protect yourself. Don't know. I'm not gonna put my tinfoil hat on this stream, because that's not what this is for. But if you have opinions, please comment down below and let me know. I may do like some more like conspiracy specific streams, so we can dive more deeper into that. But just on a general level, I just did not like the tone of these comments from these people. It pissed me clean off. I'm not gonna lie. Just because you didn't experience the shitty version of someone doesn't mean that that shitty version of them doesn't exist. And I think that them speaking about him like this is like it's like you're not holding him accountable for the shit that we know he has done. Like, you're not even holding him accountable for being an abusive asshole. You're not even holding him accountable for beating Cassie's ass in a hotel when there's camera footage out for everyone to see. I just don't, like, my brain really cannot understand why he just gets absolved from like any accountability from his peers, or at least some of his peers, or it seems to be most. I just don't fucking get it. People really have to, and like I said, like,